Today we look at some of the most Googled places to move to. If you've ever searched things like the best places to buy a house in the United States, the best states to live or move to, maybe even the best cities in the United States, this list is for you. We look at where Americans want to move in the good old USA. Let's take a look. Number 20, Charleston, South Carolina. Charleston looks unfairly beautiful, with pastel houses lined up like they're auditioning for a southern rom-com. Palm trees doing a gentle sway like they're on a looped screensaver, and the kind of ocean breeze that makes people say, I think I should start jogging. Newcomers get hypnotized into believing that their life is about to become slower, prettier, and at least 40% more Instagrammable. Toss in a food scene that treats shrimp and grits like a sacred ritual, a bar on every corner that pours bourbon with historical confidence, and a calendar packed with festivals, weddings, and random outdoor parties that you weren't invited to but could probably wander into. And suddenly, people start Googling Charleston apartments at 2 a.m. in the morning, like it's a completely rational financial decision. Then there's the whole lifestyle, which somehow mixes polite southern manners, coastal chill energy, and just enough bougie behavior to make everyone feel slightly underdressed, but also weirdly okay with it. Like they're part of a very stylish cult that smells faintly like sunscreen and pralines. Charleston is dangerously charming, and it's a great place to visit. You don't have to live there, just visit. If you do want to live there, you got jobs in tourism, healthcare, tech, shipping, and remote work that pile up fast enough to make everyone feel responsible while they're secretly planning beach afternoons. And the cost of living, while climbing like it's training for a marathon, still feels like a good deal compared to New York and California, or anywhere else where rent payments come with emotional trauma. People show up for a fresh start, and they tell themselves they'll only stay a few years. Then they wake up one morning owning patio furniture, wearing boat shoes, and arguing about the best oyster spot like they were born there. Movie-related searches for Charleston, South Carolina went up 15% in 2025. 19, Greenville, South Carolina. Greenville is what happens when a southern town makes a New Year's resolution to get in shape and actually follows through. The downtown is clean, walkable, lined with restaurants that look like they belong in a much bigger city. Manufacturing anchors the economy, especially automotive and aerospace, while healthcare and logistics keep expanding quietly in the background. The cost of living still makes sense, which alone puts Greenville in the top tier of American cities. It feels safe, organized, and weirdly functional, like someone in city government actually reads emails. People move here because it's one of the few places that feels like a responsible life decision instead of a financial YOLO. Moving-related searches for Greenville, South Carolina went up 15.8%. Number 18, Chattanooga, Tennessee. Chattanooga is the city that everyone discovers accidentally and then refuses to shut up about it. It has some of the fastest internet in the country, mountains practically touching downtown, and a riverfront that looks like it was built for drone footage alone. The tech scene is small but growing. Remote workers love it, and the housing market hasn't completely lost its frickin' mind yet. It's scenic without being smug, and affordable without feeling like you've compromised. People are starting to look at Chattanooga the same way they looked at Asheville, North Carolina a few years back. Got some outdoorsy stuff to do with a growing tech scene, and it's still kinda got that art vibe to it. If you do want to buy a house here, the real estate prices are not that bad. $313,000 is the average home value. And we're talking about a place that stats aren't terrible. Sure, they got a little crime, but everything else is about average or a touch above average. Moving-related searches for Chattanooga, Tennessee are up 15.9%. 17. Huntsville, Alabama. Huntsville feels like it shouldn't be this nice, but it absolutely is. It's stacked with aerospace engineers, defense contractors, and tech workers who all somehow ended up in northern Alabama and thought, I'm just gonna roll with it. NASA money, military money, and startup money are all flowing through a city that's clean, safe, and building a new neighborhood every single week, like it's speedrunning SimCity. Salaries are way higher than you'd expect for a metro area this size, and unemployment stays low like it's a personal challenge for the city. People move here for work and then realize they landed in one of the most stable, quietly prosperous, small metros in the country. Huntsville doesn't flex. It keeps winning while nobody's paying attention. Huntsville is an area of Alabama which is similar to Arkansas's northwest corner. It's not like the rest of the state. It is totally different. Alabama's got some of the highest poverty rates in the country, but in Huntsville, it's nothing like that. Nothing like it. It's weird. On top of all that, you can still get a house here for under $300,000. That's decent. Moving-related searches for Huntsville, Alabama are up 16.3% compared to 2024. 16. Fort Worth, Texas. Fort Worth has quietly been living its best life while Dallas does all the yelling. It still has cowboy bones, real neighborhoods, and a downtown that feels like a real downtown, not some glass skyscrapers and parking garage downtown. Jobs are solid, especially in logistics, aerospace, and corporate operations, and the city keeps catching spillover relocation from companies that looked at Dallas rents and said, absolutely not. Housing is still reasonable by Texas standards, which now feels like finding a $5 burger at the airport. You know, it's kind of a magical thing. People move here because it feels like modern Texas growth without the psychological damage of a 12-lane highway and $900,000 starter homes. Their average home value is still under $300,000. You can't beat that. Probably looking at over $420,000 if you want something nicer. Moving-related searches for Fort Worth, Texas are up 16.3% in 2025. Number 15, McKinney, Texas. McKinney is one of the best suburbs in the Dallas metro area. It's got low crime, good jobs, housing numbers are great. It's getting a little expensive, but you're getting what you pay for. And in this case, it's still a value. Sitting just north of Dallas like an overreaching sibling in the Dallas-Fort Worth family, it stacks the deck with top-rated schools, low crime, shiny master plan neighborhoods, and a historic downtown that actually has personality, not just a Target and 3 identical chain restaurants. McKinney has a mostly painless commute to Plano for all those tech jobs and people that work at Toyota. You can also get to Frisco corporate campuses, which makes it irresistible for families, remote workers, and anyone who wants a big house, a decent yard, and a sense of order without selling your future to a bank for a mortgage. On top of that, the place keeps adding parks, trails, splash pads, and community events like farmers markets and outdoor concerts. So it feels weirdly wholesome in a way that makes other fast-growing Texas suburbs look a little more chaotic. It's the kind of place people move to for a few years, and next thing they know, they've retired there. Like Fort Worth, the moving-related searches are up 16.3%. Number 14, Nashville, Tennessee. Nashville is what happens when a city hits the algorithm jackpot and never logs off. Music industry money, healthcare giants, tech expansion, and a nonstop flow of new residents turned it into one of the fastest growing metros in the country. Downtown feels like a permanent party, but the job market is dead serious. People move here for opportunity, culture, and zero income tax, then spend the next decade complaining about traffic like it's a civic duty. Nobody ever leaves here because deep down they know they're winning just by living in Nashville, or in Tennessee for that matter. Little disclaimer, the backwoods of Tennessee are a completely different story. People don't feel that way about the backwoods. Nashville-related moving searches are up 17.1%. Number 13, Bend, Oregon. Bend is what happens when an REI catalog becomes a municipality. It's gorgeous in that unfair Instagram filter way, with mountains in every direction, trails everywhere, and a downtown that smells like pine trees and disposable income. A lot of people I know when I worked at Netflix moved down to Bend. When they usually hit around 30, they're like, I don't want to do Portland anymore, and they head to Bend. Now, Bend is actually getting flooded with a lot of Californians, and really anyone that's got money that doesn't feel like moving to Jackson, Wyoming. But remote workers show up with laptops, dogs, and strong opinions about coffee. They also feel like they've cracked the code of life. And honestly, for a while, they're right. It's clean, safe, and loaded with breweries that all claim to have the best one in town. The only catch is housing, which has gone from a little pricey to tech billionaires buying this zip code. People move here for a lifestyle and stay because emotionally and financially, they're now trapped in a very scenic snow globe. Bend has seen moving-related searches go up 17.1%. Number 12, North Carolina. North Carolina as a whole has sort of turned into America's favorite compromise state. It's not too expensive, it's not too cold, it's not too hot, it's not too chaotic. Raleigh, Charlotte, and Durham, who some of those are coming up later on, and surrounding suburbs are pulling in tech workers, bankers, biotech professionals, and remote workers at a speed that feels borderline aggressive. The job market is strong, taxes are manageable, And you can get mountains, beaches, and decent barbecue without changing your zip codes too violently. People move here because it feels like a long-term play instead of a risky lifestyle bet. I've been harping about this for a couple of years now. North Carolina is in the middle of a serious growth spurt. It may not be showing how big of a deal it is right now on paper, but given a couple of years, when they look back the last 5-10 years, they're going to go, holy crap, we blowed up. North Carolina saw a 17.6% jump in moving-related searches. Number 11, Frisco, Texas. Frisco feels like it was assembled in a boardroom with a PowerPoint presentation titled How to Build the Perfect Suburb. Corporate headquarters keep landing here, the schools are elite, and the housing developments multiply like rabbits on Viagra. It's clean, wealthy, and relentlessly efficient. Every shopping center looks new, every road feels freshly paved. People move here because it's basically a suburban cheat code. Good jobs, good schools, good safety, and zero chaos. It's not cool, it's just successful. Sort of like Warren Buffett. Moving related searches about Frisco, Texas were up 17.8% in 2025. Number 10, Lehi, Utah. Lehi is Silicon Slopes in physical form. Now, I kind of don't like it when everyone throws silicon whatever into it. It started with Silicon Valley back in the 90s in the San Francisco Bay Area. Now there's Silicon Desert, Silicon Forest, Silicon Slopes like 3 different times. We get it. They're trying to push their tech thing. Let it go. Anyway. Startups, tech campuses, and young professionals are packed into a city that barely existed what seems like 15 minutes ago. New neighborhoods appear overnight, unemployment stays low like it's scared of being fired, and salaries are shockingly strong for a place that still feels half small town. People move here because it feels like catching the tech boom early. The only downside is that everyone's had the same idea about this place, it seems like, all at the same time. Lehi's getting crowded, and it's starting to see the beginning of getting very expensive. But it's nice. Moving-related searches for Lehi were up 17.8%. Number 9, Salt Lake City. Salt Lake City went from a nice place to visit to wait, why is everyone hiring here? Almost overnight. The tech sector is booming, healthcare is expanding, and logistics and finance are quietly stacking wins. The city is clean, organized, and strangely efficient for a fast-growing metro, which makes you feel like someone in charge actually wants the place to do better. People move here because the job market keeps saying yes, while other cities are saying, circle back next quarter. It's career-friendly, family-friendly, and weirdly underrated for how well it's performing. Now, I will tell you, since they've had such an influx, they've had a little bit of an increase in crime over the last handful of years. It's about 89% above the national average. And that's not great, but it's not the worst in the world. It's not even the worst in Utah, but that hasn't slowed its growth. It's doing great. People are looking to move there all the time. Moving-related searches for Salt Lake City were up 18.3% in 2025. Number 8, Madison, Wisconsin. Madison feels oddly perfect. You've got a nice, clean city with 2 lakes that wrap around it like an AI picture of a perfect city. You have the University of Wisconsin campus there that pumps out youthful chaos, research money, and an endless supply of hoodie-wearing grad students. You also have a decent local economy. Put all those together and people start imagining a life where they bike to work and eat a suspiciously good cheese curd for lunch. They got a great job market with biotech, healthcare, education, and state government. Plus, they got a downtown that looks like a Norman Rockwell painting designed by someone who's really into farmers markets and brunch. Spend some time there, and suddenly Madison starts feeling less like a nice Midwestern town and more like a lifestyle upgrade that doesn't require coastal credit card debt. People show up expecting quiet streets and polite small talk. Then they realize they're wandering into a place with rooftop bars overlooking a lake, late-night taco joints fueled entirely by drunken philosophy majors, and a calendar full of festivals that celebrate everything from cheese to jazz. Out of all the major cities in the United States, Madison is probably my favorite to live in right now. 15 years ago, I would have said Portland, Oregon. 10 years ago, I might have said Portland, Oregon. Now Portland's like a girl that shaved her head, got a face tattoo, and started chain smoking. Oddly enough, I still love it. But I think I could love Madison more. And a lot of people are seeing it that way too. In 2025, moving-related searches for Madison, Wisconsin were up 18.7%. Number 7, Scottsdale, Arizona. Scottsdale is where migration goes when it wins the lottery and immediately buys a convertible. Seriously, people don't just move here, they arrive like they're stepping into a lifestyle commercial. Sunglasses already on, latte in hand, pretending they totally meant to pay that much for rent. First off, it's a parade. Retirees with suspiciously good knees, influencers doing outfit changes in parking lots, tech workers who work remote but somehow never seem to be working. Everyone piles into this sun-baked oasis that feels like a permanent vacation, except with HOA rules and a Target every 3 miles. It's Palm Springs' younger, more caffeinated cousin, with better Wi-Fi. And the golf courses, oh my god, the golf courses, they just keep going. You think you've seen the last one and boom, there's another one. And of course, there's the shopping. Upscale doesn't even cover it. It's all designer storefronts, fancy brunch spots, and boutiques that sell candles for the price of a small appliance. You walk into a mall and you feel underdressed no matter what you're wearing. I once saw a woman in yoga pants that probably cost more than my first car, and she looked casual about it, like, oh, it's just something I threw on. People move here for 3 main reasons: sunshine, status, and a desert lifestyle without any actual desert inconvenience. You get the sunsets, you get the palm trees, you get the dry heat everyone pretends to love, but you don't get the struggle. No dusty hardship, no romantic survival nonsense, just clean sidewalks, cold brew on tap, and a Whole Foods that feels like a spa. Scottsdale knows exactly who they are. It's like, yes, I'm expensive, yes, I'm shiny, no, I'm not sorry. And you know what's strange? People show up anyway. Because deep down, a lot of people want to live their life like a resort brochure, even if it costs them everything except their dignity. Scottsdale saw moving-related searches go up 18.9% in 2025. Number 6, Phoenix, Arizona. Phoenix feels like someone turned the population growth slider all the way to the right and forgot to turn it back. Subdivisions pop up like they're being 3D printed overnight, warehouses keep landing along the freeway, and job postings multiply faster than shade trees. You've got solid growth in tech, healthcare, and logistics. Construction's not doing bad either, which is fitting because half the city is still under construction. The housing no longer cheap, yeah, we get that, it's been popular for a while now, but it's still affordable-ish compared to, let's say, coastal metros, which is all anyone needs to hear to start packing. People move here for sunshine, career options, and the promise of a backyard you'll never actually use in July. Yes, the sprawl is forever, but when it's 75 degrees in February and your old city is scraping ice off the windshield, sprawl starts to feel like the smart choice. Moving-related searches for Phoenix, Arizona were up 19% in 2025. Number 5, Boise, Idaho. Yes, everyone wants to move to Boise. Even though it's slowed down a touch, it is still an incredibly popular place to research and possibly move to. Boise is what happens when a secret gets posted on TikTok. It used to be a place nobody talked about unless they were fly fishing or they were really into potatoes. Now it's a full-blown migration magnet, with clean streets, low crime, mountain views, and a downtown that feels like it's just big enough to be interesting without being exhausting. The job market is strong for a city its size, especially in tech, manufacturing, and healthcare, and it's still widely business-friendly compared to most blue state metros. People move here for the outdoors and the quality of life and stay because it still feels sane compared to Seattle, Denver, Portland, and even Possum Trot, Kentucky. The only thing holding Boise back now is housing prices that have climbed a little too hard, a little too fast, like they were late for a party and now they're overcompensating. All that being said, Boise still had a jump in their searches, an even 19%. Number 4, the Austin, Texas metro area. Notice I didn't say Austin, Texas itself, because the shine, much like Portland, is kind of off Austin right now. Not as bad as Portland, but it's been a little tarnished. The suburbs around it are doing excellent. Austin is still a main character in Southern tech, even if it got a little full of itself. Startups, major corporation relocation, venture capital, and non-stop hiring keep this place humming. Tesla, Oracle, and a parade of tech firms turned the job market into a golden retriever that just won't stop bringing back opportunities. Yes, it's expensive now, and yes, the traffic is a mess, and yes, everyone's complaining about how it used to be better. It did. None of that has stopped people from moving there in droves, though. They come for career acceleration, live music, and lifestyle clout. Then they stay because leaving would feel like quitting a game right before the boss fight. Even though they had a little bit of a dip, they're still seeing an increase. in their moving-related searches. It's actually up 20.1%. Number 3, Colorado Springs. Somewhere south of Denver, quietly minding its own business, Colorado Springs is living its best low-drama life. Not flashy, not loud, just competent. It's like Denver's calmer, cheaper sibling who skipped the party phase, bought a sensible car, and somehow ended up owning a house first. That's totally rude, honestly. Here's the thing, the economy here isn't built on vibes and cold brew alone. It's built on very serious, very government-issued paychecks. Military bases everywhere, aerospace firms doing mysterious sky math, defense contractors with badges and acronyms you're not allowed to ask about. While other cities are crossing their fingers and hoping TikTok influencers save the local economy, Springs is over that. Like, nah, we're good. We've got jets and satellites and people who wake up at 5 a.m. to do exercises. Meanwhile, the mountains just sit there doing all the emotional labor. Massive, dramatic, snow-capped, constantly photobombing your commute like, hey, remember beauty exists? You'll be stuck at a red light, mildly annoyed about being late for work, and boom, Pikes Peak hits you with a postcard moment, and you're suddenly rethinking your entire attitude. It's unfair. The mountains don't even try. They're just still carrying the whole city's aesthetic on their back. Neighborhoods here are clean and spacious, like someone's mom came through with a vacuum and some Febreze. Traffic is tolerable, not perfect, but it's not aging you a full decade just trying to go 5 miles like Denver or Los Angeles. You can actually run errands without building a playlist and packing a snack. I know it's a wild concept, but it's doable in Colorado Springs. Now, the housing is still expensive, don't get me wrong. This is Colorado. Nobody's giving away cabins for $20 and a firm handshake. But compared to Denver, it feels like you showed up to an auction when people are bidding in inside voices instead of screaming through their suitcase of cash. People move here for a lifestyle or they move here for the military. They come for stability, for sanity, and for a life where your job feels solid and your rent doesn't feel like a personal insult. It's not glamorous, it's not edgy, it doesn't have Denver's main character energy, but it works, and sometimes, honestly, working beats cool by a lot. Colorado Springs saw moving-related searches jump 20.6% in 2025. Number 2, Charlotte, North Carolina. Hey look, more North Carolina. Didn't see that one coming. Somewhere between a master plan and sweet tea, Charlotte is out there living its best corporate life. Efficient, polished, slightly obsessed with quarterly growth. This city runs on spreadsheets, and honestly, it loves that for itself. You can practically hear Excel opening every time a new office tower goes up. You like banks? Good news, they're everywhere here. Massive financial institutions with glassy buildings that look like they were designed by someone who really likes straight lines and productivity quotes. It's the banking capital of the South, which sounds dramatic until you realize that just means a whole lot of people in blazers talking about interest rates over salads. Corporate relocations keep rolling in, and with that comes more jobs. Meanwhile, the skyline is basically under construction as a lifestyle choice. Cranes have become part of the skyline of Charlotte, North Carolina. They got good suburbs too. They just keep expanding outward forever. It's like the city woke up one day and said, what if we keep building until South Carolina asks us to stop? They got jobs, they got a nice lifestyle, they got great health care. Affordability hasn't gone mental yet, and it's pretty much taken over Atlanta's shine. Atlanta used to be the biggest growing city in the South. Charlotte's the new Atlanta. They got pro sports, music venue, food scenes, and NASCAR. It's not a bad place to live, and people know this. Because of that, it's getting more and more popular. Their jump in moving-related searches was 20.4% in 2025. All right, before we get to number 1, if you are moving any place in the United States, there's a link for a website called Home and Money. They've got all kinds of tools to help you find a home, buy a home, all that good stuff. They also can help you find a realtor anywhere you're going to. All right, on to number 1. And number 1, Raleigh, North Carolina. Yes, finishing this list off, we got more North Carolina. Raleigh feels like a straight-A student who somehow also has a social life. Anchored by the research triangle, it pulls in tech workers, biotech research, healthcare professionals, and academics at a steady clip. The job market is absurdly strong for a metro its size, and the population keeps getting younger, smarter, and more educated, which is great for housing demand and terrible for anyone hoping prices will calm down. It's clean, organized, and growing fast without feeling broken or chaotic, which is a rare combination in modern America. People move here because it's one of the safest long-term bets for career stability and family life. Then they quietly realize they may have actually picked the perfect spot to live. Raleigh, just like every place else in North Carolina, it's a solid place to live. They got some rough spots throughout the state, and I'm sure some bad neighborhoods in Charlotte and Raleigh and everywhere else. But overall, North Carolina, and especially Raleigh, are a great place to move to. Raleigh saw an increase in moving-related searches of 21.1%. All right, that's today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Everyone go out, have a great day, be nice to each other.